Good morning. What in the hell
Good
are
morning.
you doing?
It's Friday. It's payday.
Payday. Oh, yeah, you got your payday today.
I got my
Congratulations.
weekly allowance. Yeah. So it's a
I
good
need to
day.
get me one of those.
You got a sugar mama. You need to get your weekly allowance. Do your chores
know.
and you get your weekly allowance.
I do the chores, but I would like to go on vacation, so I don't spend money. I spend money on food occasionally, but that's about the extent of my expenses normally. I literally leave my house with my phone, and that's about all I leave my house with on a 90% chance basis. So I feel like you know that. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I leave my house with nothing. I have a phone in my hand, and that's about it. Usually, if someone asks for my ID, I'm like, "Oh shit, that's not good," because I don't have that.
It's like, "Hey, Jared, we're going out of town. You might need your wallet.
You might need this." I know. I told you when we went to the expo that I was going to end up giving you all my stuff because I didn't want to. I was going to lose the card and/or my ID, and it was going to be very problematic, and my wife was going to kill me.
Yeah.
Well, I used to have a little contraption on the back of my phone that my phone slid out, and I could put my cards and stuff in it because I just don't carry a wallet, mostly because I dress like a child or a gym teacher, and I just always have like shorts or stuff without back pockets, and I just carrying a wallet is awful. So I just don't. Yeah. But yeah, I used to have a phone contraption that carried them, and then I changed phone cases. So I no longer have the contraption. So now I just don't carry anything. So if you try to rob me, you're not going to get much.
You'll be disappointed.
Yeah, they'll be very disappointed because my phone's broken too. So you're
they're going to get a broken phone, and that's it. And they'll be like, "Yeah, great." They'll probably give it back. Be like, "I'm sorry. Like you're in worse shape than I am."
Yeah, it's not going great for you, man. Let me just hand this back to you. You have less than I do.
Here's 20. I robbed this guy. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, pretty much. They might end up giving me money. It might work out in my favor. So, like, I feel bad for you. So we're gonna go ahead and just let you have this. That's all right. We'll get there.
So, I don't know if you saw or not in the news. Tuesday was election day. I dropped the ball.
Oh, I saw.
Yeah. Republican nomination Jennifer Pace wins the U.S. House in the 7th Congressional District of Indiana.
Now,
she passed away in March.
That was what my question was. Where has she been for the last 2 months?
Yeah, in the ground, I'm guessing.
And I think I interrupted you there. So for those that did not hear him, she passed away 2 months ago. The lady that has been elected, and what was she running for?
U.S. House in the 7th Congressional District. So I think like a state representative, but not like Washington, like at the state level.
So as a state, we elected a person who's been deceased for 2 months. So I have questions. Okay. Leading up to the election for 2 months, no one needed to contact this lady for any reason, like, to campaign or talk to people or any, no one had to, because I read an article yesterday, and this was a very interesting thing also. I was talking to Uncle Jay, actually. I was talking to him about this, and he was asking me questions, and I said, you know what? I have not done research. I said, I just saw the headline that Evan sent me, and I read a couple things about it, but I didn't really deep dive into it. I'm like, yeah, let me go look. I went on Google, and I had to scroll through probably the first 10 to 15, maybe more posts before I finally found a Reddit article that had it. And then I also found it was a rather random news outlet that had it as well. But if you searched it on Google, you had to legit go find it, which raises even more questions. Again, this lady didn't need to talk to anybody for the last 2 months. And then it said, one of the articles said that they reached out to the party leader and asked if they knew what she passed away from. And they go, no, sorry, we don't know.
Yeah. I did find out this morning in some, investigative journalism. I don't know. I talked to my dad. He said the ballots are usually locked in, and then they can't change them due to, somebody bailing at the last minute to mess with it.
Well, and that's fine.
But I was like, what's the cutoff? Because if it's 2 months ago, I would feel like it should be a month, maybe. I don't know. So but they should have made a note, deceased.
That's fair, but why was this not headline news in multiple facets? And we live in this state, and obviously after this lady got elected was when we found out that she had passed away. And one of the articles was, like I said, on Reddit. And, obviously take what you get on Reddit is, it's not like a very factual source, but the person that was commenting said they did a bunch of research prior to the election on all of the candidates because they were trying to be as knowledgeable as possible going into it. And they not a single time did they see anything anywhere that this lady had passed away. And all of their research, not a single article came up that said she had passed away. So, like, how do you not think there's some fishy bullshit going on?
There might be. And I did hear also that the people who were even in that district to vote didn't know she passed away.
Yeah, like how and why? Like it and then for it to be not on the internet, like usually you can pretty well, and I didn't search like a general term. I searched Indiana elects deceased person, I think is what I searched. And I had to like scroll and scroll and scroll. And I finally found an article on Reddit. And then I scrolled and it was like maybe I want to say the Washington Post was where I found one, or I can't remember where the other one was, but it was one of those that I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Like, not only did no one know about this, but now it seems like you can't really find it online. Like, that's a pretty interesting coincidence.
And I found the article on Barstool Sports, or Barstool News. It was a Barstool site, so
fairly reputable, I feel like.
It's a big name, but I didn't just think of this in my head. So
that's why I asked you earlier if we were going to go right into this today, because a couple of the topics that I had kind of went with it. I got to find my, there it is. All right. So I was reading another thing too. Tucker Carlson was talking to a lady, because I listened to Rogan talk to that Mike Baker. He's a former CIA or former one of the intelligence agencies, but they were talking about disguises and how that works. So he was talking about how the CIA has a department that is basically they work with Hollywood, and that's their job is to make disguises, which makes total sense. So also though, you hear in the news that there, all the corruption, whatever, that may or may not be involved with things. So then couldn't you fake all kinds of other things with that and AI? So then you end up with like the political landscape that we do, where it's not three very, very like, oh man, that's a good looking president kind of. It's three very, very elderly people who are all pointing fingers at each other, talking about all of the bad things each of them does. And it's like, okay, why are you not just running on like the good things that you do? Well, that's because
running on your own merit, Like, I did this. Not like
100%.
That guy sucks. Well, okay, so if you're saying that guy sucks, what have you done? Because you might be doing suckier things.
Yeah. Well, and it's like the kids in the sandbox. No one can take responsibility. No, he did it. No, he did it, because no one wants to get in trouble. They're all vying for power. It doesn't seem like it's any more about the country. It's more about the power and making sure that this party or that party and it just seems very, very broken, and it's terrifying. Like it's so negative. Like and that's why I've always shied away from voting. I've always had trouble with it because it's like, oh, I feel like I'm just picking between the best of the worst. Like this feels weird. I don't like it. And I've always felt like that. But it seems like it just keeps progressing and progressing to where it's like, these are the best people that we have. Like they're all just talking shit to each other about all this bad shit they've done. And it's like, why are we not raising a hand and going, hey, maybe these guys aren't the ones to lead us? Like shit's clearly, prices everywhere have inflated like crazy. And I mean, it's not just one person's fault. It is the whole system's fault. Like it's such indebted, and it's such a weird, the whole thing makes no sense. Like if you start doing the research, like we've went into the random things like the food supply and all those things. If you start doing the research on like the red and yellow dyes, or if you want to really deep dive, go listen to the podcast we did with the Gotcha Coffee. They were talking about the holistic diet. And it was awesome. You learn a lot about things that are in your food, but go jump into that research of the like red and yellow dyes that are in our food and all of the different processed things that are in our food that are banned in other countries. And and I talk about it all the time about like fasting, doing the stuff that I've been doing and how much different it's made me feel mentally, physically, all of the above. So then you start questioning all of this other stuff. But the other one that I listened to was Tucker Carlson was talking to a lady, I believe she was CIA also, but she was talking about they have poor man's nukes. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
So basically they can infect insects, whether it be mosquitoes, ticks. I had the picture on here somewhere. Mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas, and it's a CIA black ops, and they drop them on the enemy, and it weakens out the population. It obviously makes people sick. It weakens the population. It hurts the medical supply, and it essentially nukes them without like tearing up the infrastructure of the country, basically. And it's like, holy shit, if they can do all of these things, like, and you find out that there is stuff in our food that is definitely not good for you. Like we talked about that cyanocobalamin, I think is what it's called, but it's like in most of vitamins. And it seems like, I'm a moron. I've done very, very little research, but the little research I found, it seems as if that's made from a sort of cyanide. Mm-hmm. And it's in most things. And the guy that was talking about it was ex-military, I believe. And he was very, very fit. So it was one of those that I'm like, okay, there might be some truth to this one. But again, I find most of my information on Twitter, so take it how you will. But it's very interesting, like the landscape of all this stuff, where anymore it seems like a lot of these conspiracy theories hold a little bit of weight when you start doing the research, because then, like, I don't know, I wanted to look up the number before we got on here and I forgot, but the amount of children that go missing every day and the stuff that's come out with the Epstein and Diddy stuff, and they know that they can flood the internet with all of these different things and it just squashes it. Like even on the small scale of what we do, if you want to bury something, all you got to do is post a bunch more things, and that first post may never even be seen again. And if you do that, if you think about that on a larger scale, like if they can do the things that they're doing and these conspiracy theories turn out to be even remotely true, whether about the COVID stuff or the election stuff, whatever, pick any of your 7,000 of them. I mean, you can go as far as lizard people if you'd like. Flat Earth, there's a million of them, but who knows? Who knows what's real? Who knows what's not? It's very, very difficult. But if you flood the internet with enough, how the hell do you figure out what's real and what's not? And I think that almost seems like what they're trying to do is if you put so much bullshit out there, the stuff that is real is way more difficult to cut through and figure out, to where it's exhausting. Because like doing this show, I try not to come on here with topics that aren't real. So I do my due diligence to make sure that it's real things that have happened. And sometimes it's exhausting. Like I find things and I'm like, oh, this is a good one to talk about. And I start doing my research and I find out it's bullshit, or vice versa. And it's like, God, this is exhausting. I have to go through all of these different things to figure out if something's true or not. And it gets very, very frustrating. But again, I think that's what it's designed to do, is flood with as much negativity and bullshit as possible, because then things like the Diddy stuff, things like the Epstein Island stuff just keep getting pushed under the rug because this sports team got screwed this night, or this celebrity did this stupid thing, and then they can just flood everything with that. And then the real things get blown away. And then everyone's, going back and forth about Kendrick and Drake, and Diddy's sitting back there, dancing and laughing because he's getting away with whatever it is. And it's just amazing how quickly they can push things off of the internet. And yeah, obviously I'm going quite down a tangent from a lady who got elected that was deceased, but it's amazing how it all like kind of pieces together. And it's like, oh man, there might be a little more fuckery than we think there is. And it's interesting when you start looking into it. I want to know what's real. I want to know if there's aliens or Bigfoot, or if we're in a bubble. I want to know all of it, but who knows? So
that's where we differ, because I don't give a shit either way.
I know. I think it's fascinating. I find it all very interesting. It can be very terrifying, but again, when you hear people like that are in these high level positions, and you hear people like Rogan, who has the platform that he has, talking about these things, and they're not talking about them like they're conspiracy. They're talking about them like they're real. But if you went around to most people in outside areas, you're not, I feel like a lot of people don't know a lot of what's going on with a lot of this stuff. Like, there's a lot of craziness in the world, and I feel like they do their best to squash it so people stay uninformed.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. I'm a moron. It's in the title of this show. That's why I put the disclaimer up. How scared are you right now?
I'm not.
Okay, that's good. Oh, that was my other one. Sorry, I knew I had one more piece to this. So that was another part with the Diddy and Epstein stuff. I knew there was another that I had to tie into that one. So in California, it popped up that this police officer was being interviewed, and they said they're not arresting pedophiles anymore because the DA refuses to prosecute them, and it's a waste of their time.
Huh.
Why do you think that would be happening in California? Very interesting.
Money.
Where do all these people that are accused of this crazy shit, where do most of them live?
California.
Where was Bohemian Grove that we talked about that one morning?
It's somewhere in California. I don't know where, but
it's very interesting how that all like, and it's almost like if it does end up being a real thing, and they are all involved in this gigantic pedophile ring kind of thing, like the way they're just throwing it in people's faces right now is hilarious. Like that's how confident they are that they can squash it if that ends up being the case, that you're just like, you know what? Fuck it. Here you go. I don't even care anymore. We're going to stop prosecuting pedophiles. And there you go. Have fun.
They're probably getting a big payday.
I would do that. So. Yep. It's a wild world, but again, I'm an idiot. Go do your own research. You can get into about 80,000 rabbit holes of conspiracies of whatever. You could pretty much find anything you want on the internet. It's pretty wild.
Oh yeah. If you look,
do you have any topics that are not like me ranting about bullshit?
I got plenty. Plenty of happy those. Yeah. So now we go to the happy side of the show. Speaking of,
I feel like we need like a jingle. We need like a dark jingle for whenever I go on rants, and we need a nice, happy, like butterfly and rainbow jingle to lead you into your topics.
There we go. Speaking of the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef, Shawn Michaels has opened up and said he invited them both to come duke it out in NXT.
Yeah, I saw that. That would be awesome. I think that would end very, very badly because I don't know. I can't ever tell. Are these like, is it real or is it just this like bullshit to get into the headlines?
It's probably just to keep pushing their music because I don't like either one of them. So,
and they're both.
their music. They might be good people, but I don't like their music.
There's been what? I think I forget where I heard it yesterday, but there's been what, 14 songs back and forth or something like that.
Could be. I don't know.
I forget what it was, but so that means you have the whole world at your fingertips, and they're getting paid for each one of these songs. So why not? Mm-hmm. Like, it's almost. I feel like the whole world's turned into WWE, where it's all blurred lines. Some of it's real. Some of them really hate each other. Some of them really go to war and fight. Other ones are like our best friends behind the scenes, and they make it look really good because they have great chemistry. And I feel like the whole world has turned into WWE. Oh no, Evan is gone. This is not good. I will have to be Bill Burr for a moment, and that is no bueno. This is why I need my partner in crime. So we're going to take a commercial break, and we will be right back. Welcome back, sir. See, that tells you right there who runs the world. I talked about all kinds of crazy shit. You start talking about Kendrick and Drake, and you get booted.
Yeah, it was me. But
that should tell you everything you need to know.
There is another beef I just saw on Twitter this morning. Shaquille O'Neal and Shannon Sharp. No, I don't give a shit about that. Shaquille O'Neal and Shannon Sharp.
Oh, what happened there?
Apparently, Shannon Sharp said that Shaquille O'Neal is jealous of Shannon. Shaq fired back. He's like, why would I be jealous of you? He goes, before you talk shit, why don't you be like top tier in your sport before you come after me? So I did some deep digging. This is just their professional stat, their accomplishments. Like, Shaq has twice as many. Compared to Shannon, and I'm sure he's a better businessman.
Ooh, let's hear it. Read them off, because then what we're going to do is we're going to clip this out and we'll tag them in it. You're going to break this shit down. You're going to end the beef right now.
We're going to end the beef. This is just NBA and NFL. So Shaquille O'Neal, 4-time NBA champion, 3-time Finals MVP, a 1-time MVP, 15-time All-Star, 3-time All-Star MVP, 8-time All-NBA first team, 2-time All-NBA second team, 4-time All-NBA third team, 3-time NBA All-Defensive second team, Rookie of the Year, 2-time NBA scoring champ, a 2-time NBA anniversary team, and had 3 numbers retired in the NBA.
And that was Shaq's stats?
Those are Shaq's accomplishments in the NBA.
Man.
There was more college ones. I just stopped at the pros.
All right. So let's hear Mr. Sharp.
3-time Super Bowl champ, a 4-time first team All-Pro, a 1-time second team All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowl, all-decade team, the Broncos Ring of Fame, the Broncos 50th anniversary team, and he does hold one record, most receiving yards by a tight end. That's it. Yeah.
So, I mean, definitely, like, great accomplishments, but I don't know that, like, I'd be talking shit to Shaq, though.
I don't know if I'd go after one of the greatest big men in NBA history.
The same thing we just talked about, though. You never know what's real and what's just like the playoffs are going on right now. So why not get yourself into the headlines? Because then people are watching the pre-show. People are watching this and that because they want to hear what Shaq says about Shannon. Then they're going to Shannon's show because they want to hear if Shannon talks shit back to Shaq. So it's all ratings grab because they're essentially using the WWE model, whether it's real or not. And they're going, hey, look, they've made like billions of dollars off of this. Maybe we can do the same thing. And they're all like, I mean, same thing right now. Me and you could start a feud and make this fake. Like, obviously, we do the wrestling shows and we like play into the characters and have fun. And that's like the part of the wrestling show. But that's not like, we don't generally carry that over into what we're doing here. So that's like me and you pretending to disagree over a topic one morning and like legitimately getting into a fight about it just because we want people to want to click on our stuff because they like the negativity. And I feel like that's the exact opposite of what we try to do. I want everything to be like, obviously we'll rant and inform people, but we try to have fun with it and not make it about, clickbait drama. I feel like that's what most of it is. It's all turned into WWE reality show that, are all scripted and bullshit as well. So sorry, I'm on one this morning.
Yes, you are. Jeez. But
I apologize.
While we're on the WWE topic, Ric Flair was kicked out of Pisano's Stone Fire Pizza in Gainesville, Florida this week.
He was slightly
taking too long in the bathroom. He was intoxicated, but he was taking too long in the bathroom.
No, another guy was taking too long in the bathroom, and Ric Flair went the fuck off on him, I believe is what happened. And then they essentially told him he was cut off from the bar, and then that was when he went on his drunken fueled rant.
Yeah, he wanted to fight the manager in the parking lot. He did leave the waitress $1,000 tip, but
no. Okay, so he tried to leave her $1,000 tip. He told her he was going to leave her $1,000 tip if she called her manager an asshole.
$1,000.
I listened to the video for a while, then I couldn't take it anymore. But that was about whenever I checked out. Was about the 100th time he had told the girl to call her boss an asshole, and he'd give her $1,000 tip, and he was just being obnoxious. But I mean, it seemed as if he was being pretty obnoxious. So I can imagine the dude in the bathroom he was just embarrassing the shit out of, and literally, and was like going off on him. So then they're like, all right, drunken Ric Flair, you're cut off, no more. And I think that was how the video went from there. Was he lost his shit and got really mad and was not thrilled about.
He likes his alcohol.
Yeah, it seems like it. Did you ever listen to him on Kill Tony?
Yes, when he got up and left.
Yes, that was very, very awkward. So, no, like we don't have to keep going into it, but if you have not watched it yet, go on to Twitter, TikTok, whatever, and the roast of Tom Brady, and watch the 2-minute clip of Tony Hinchcliffe's jokes. And if you are a fan of comedy, it is glorious. Pretty rough, but it is glorious.
Yeah. So, what did you think of Luka Doncic's press conference?
That was hilarious.
Yeah. Well, so for those who don't know, during the Mavericks press conference, post-game press conference, Luka Doncic was giving his whatever conference, and he takes a breath, and you just hear somebody moaning in another room. I don't know if somebody had the hub on or somebody was celebrating. I don't know, but it made the media. It was live, pal.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. I was trying to look to see if I didn't know if you sent that to me on Facebook or not. I was going to cut the clip out real quick and pop it up there, but I didn't have it.
I don't know. I just sent the link.
I assume, was that just some moron yelling?
It didn't sound like it.
Yeah, it seemed like somebody was having a really, really good time in the background.
Yeah, they were having.
Maybe somebody had a mic on, and they didn't remember they had a mic on, and then it went live.
That could be.
You've done that before. Not in that same scenario, but
no, not doing that. I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting, and I was not doing that.
Similar though.
No,
you get it.
Hey, guess what's going on this weekend?
What?
We will be Saturday. We will be at Hybrid Championship Wrestling, Survival of the Fittest. We'll be back on commentary. Get your tickets now. You can get them on their Facebook page or their website, and it's at West Terre Haute Community Center.
So another event tomorrow. We had the podcast come out yesterday with Christina. The Surviving the Collar Run is tomorrow. I believe it's at 9 a.m. at Deming Park. We posted next Saturday. My bad. Not this Saturday. Next Saturday, the 18th. I'm getting our wrestling events confused, but we did post yesterday with the podcast. If very awesome listen. But we also posted the link to the registration. So if you do want to get involved in that, you can go register. And I believe it's at 9 or 10 a.m. that morning. You'll have to go look at the thing to double check, but I wanted to make sure and put that out there on here as well.
Oh, your father-in-law just commented. It's a pretty.
I was like, why are you staring at me?
I was reading. Pretty sure any record that Shannon Sharp has held has been surpassed. Well, according to Wikipedia, Lauren, he still's got one. So,
another one that's tomorrow is the Love for Lisa. We shared that fundraiser as well, and that's going to be going on tomorrow as well. So if you did not follow that page, go follow that page, and it has all the event information. I do not have it in front of me. I apologize, but my wife just reminded me.
There you go. So a lot of things going on this weekend. So, and it's also Mother's Day weekend.
It is. You know. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah. I got to get my mother and my wife something.
Same.
Got to use my allowance.
Yeah, I was going to say, okay, I have a question for you. Now that you do not have a job, this is like the hardest, like the birthdays and the holidays, because it's like, okay, I feel like I'm like, it doesn't. So then it's like, I feel like I have to like find my own money elsewhere to make it work.
Said, go buy yourself something. Go buy yourself something you like. Say it's for me.
Go buy yourself something nice with your own money.
Right.
What a gentleman.
Real nice.
I try to make it special. Way to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll get her a Diet Coke or something.
We got to teach you the ways.
I don't like gift giving, dude. Like, we have this kind of arrangement. Like, don't buy me shit. I'm going to buy you shit and we're good.
But your wife's going to give you the gift of a right hook to your temple. And then you're going to be unconscious. And that's not fun. I've watched her do it.
Yeah, she
not to you, but I've watched her do it.
She's tried knocking me out. It doesn't work. It does not work.
You've tried knocking yourself out. It doesn't work.
No. Like I said, I'm a Neanderthal. I'm a freak. I don't know. Genetic freak here, you know.
That's why this works. So did you have any more on your list of butterflies and rainbows? Because we have a podcast in 20 minutes.
All the good stuff's out. We ended on a happy note. So,
well, that's great. See, that's why I wanted to start my rant right off the bat, because I feel like I could go hot, and then you can end us with some sunshine and positivity before we go into the weekend.
I'm a cool down guy.
Yeah,
everybody ramped up, fired up, and I just cool.
I know. Down. Yeah, that's why we have a good yin and yang. It works out great.
I'm Joe Cool.
Hey, the last 2-3 weeks of this, I have been very positive and right on with you with the entertainment and sports and fun, cool things. But for some reason this week, I couldn't really find anything. And that was all that kept popping up. And I'm like, well, looks like we're going on a rant because this is pissing me off.
Like I said, for those who didn't know, our Twitters are different.
Very different.
Yeah.
If you don't get on Twitter or X, it's definitely a good source. My recommendation is to follow a wide variety of people, because then you get a gist of everything going on. If you follow, 10, 15 people in a lot of different categories, you get a whole vast variety, but you find out things very, very quickly. The information, and then it's all fact checked as well, or at least it says it is. It seems like that's one of the more truthful news sources out there currently. And if something's bullshit, it pops up underneath it and says it's bullshit. So definitely a cool thing to check out and get news. And then you'll see where we find all of this crazy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty fun stuff. But yeah, we better get going on this podcast. I got to clean my bathroom.
And I got to be at your house in less than 20 minutes.
Yep.
All right. We'll see you in a minute.
We'll see you.
Bye.